Hello, and welcome to Spirit Among Us, Romans 8:28. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to His purpose. We live in a world that is constantly changing. We often try to make sense of everything that happens around us, but sometimes we come to a place where it doesn't make sense, where we can't understand why things are happening the way they are. We can fall back on the promise that God has given us here, the promise of His perfect plan in our lives, that He is working everything together for our good. But sometimes this plan, this promise, doesn't seem to be enough. Sometimes it doesn't seem to convince us of the truth. Even though we are promised of the perfect plan, we often naturally try to understand why everything is happening the way it is. I personally have been one to do this, to analyze everything to the point where I can see it as a benefit at least in some way. But sometimes God's plan is too complex for us to do this. Sometimes we can feel like He is no longer working in our lives because everything is going wrong and nothing is good. In these moments, it can be impossible to make sense of anything. We can become very confused about what exactly God is doing in our lives. This is where knowing the nature of God is so important. Our God never changes. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 8. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. God never changes. He never goes back on His promises, but He is always faithful until the end. So in times of confusion, where we can hardly understand anything, we can rest in this truth. Even if we can't bring ourselves to completely believe that He is working in His plan, we can still gain joy from this truth. God and His character never changes. We always know that God is loving, that God is good, and that God is with us. And these things never fade. Are you struggling to understand God's will in your life? Do you find yourself confused about what His real plan is? Today, let go of the constant striving to understand your situation. Simply trust God and be filled with the joy of knowing that God's perfect character will never change. Thank you for watching, and God bless.